Hello there, Aries, and welcome to your April reading. Great to see you again, and as always, you can use this for your sun sign, your rising, as well as your moon. If you don't know all three, just stick with the sign that you were born under and you'll get the information you need. You can also watch this for someone in your life that you care about, so however it fits your needs, I'm happy to be here for you. Quick note on how I format this. I like to start off with channeled information, which we'll be getting into in just a moment. Then I move along to a full Celtic cross where we can get a really good feel for the main energy that needs to come through in the month. And then we expand it to look at the specific areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. If after watching this, you really enjoyed what you received and would like to give back, why don't you stay around until the end of the video? At that point, I'll give you more information on how to do so. I'm also putting some information here at the bottom briefly so that you can do it now if you'd like to. Otherwise, stick around, and again, at the end, I'll get more into that. Without any further delay, let's go straight into your channeled information for this month, the month of April. Now, each and every month, I select a deck of cards that I'm going to use for each sign, and then I meditate. While I'm doing that, that's when I receive your channeled information. This month when I did that for your sign, I saw somebody walking and I saw sort of like time marks on it, almost like you were walking on a timeline. Now the fact that I saw all of those marks along the timeline tells me, at least on an intuitive level, that there is a larger hand at work, some sort of divine energy working with you this month. So the first thing I picked up on was divine timing. The second thing that I picked up on was that some of you may be blessed with a synchronicity. So I wrote down both, synchronicity and divine timing. We'll talk first about divine timing. For those of you that are feeling a little bit frustrated in progress, perhaps you've been working at something longer than you think you should have. Maybe you think you should get a promotion at work, or you see someone in your life that you want to connect with and you're wondering why it's not happening, why that relationship isn't there, or why you haven't been able to find someone in your life, whatever it is. A lot of times we have things near and dear to our heart, things on our bucket list that we want to check off, and we get frustrated because we might look around and other people are, maybe we feel further ahead than we are. I want you to trust this month that everything that's happening is to set you up for the most successful experience possible. If you got some of those bucket list items this month, perhaps it wouldn't meet your expectations. Perhaps the team around you that was there to support you wouldn't really be ready for that. So trust that everything that's happening is aligning you to your highest good, to the best experience, to achieving what you want, but just maybe not as quickly as you want. For those of you that already kind of realize that you are an active participant in your life, that the universe does have your back, this month you may actually notice, wow, something started to happen. I was prepared, I was awake, I was aware, and then a synchronicity popped up that aligned with all of the stuff that I've been working on. And it may have felt random at first or even coincidental, but you start to realize, because it wakes you up on a soul level, that this was much deeper than a perceived coincidence. It was indeed a synchronicity. And that's when you are aligned to your soul purpose, when the universe recognizes the work you're doing. And because of your awareness and your preparation, this perceived luck or this coincidence was actually your own manifestation at work. And so it doesn't matter which end of the spectrum you are on, you are always supported. The divine timing is always there. Through meditation, through awareness, you might start to pick up on some of the cues. And as we look at the cards this month, hopefully I can give you some more information on what your timing is about this month. And if there is a synchronicity, I'll point it out. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards and see what kind of insights they have for you this month. At this point, I like to remain quiet as I lay out the Celtic cross. So after I shuffle the cards here, I'm going to do just that, and then I'll rejoin you when everything has been set up. So one moment, please. So in your catalyst position, we have the unicorn card. It was reversed, but let's talk about it in all of its upright splendor here. First of all, for me, this is a card of imagination because, of course, we think of unicorns as imaginary creatures. But it is also a card of possibilities for me as symbolized here. And in this particular deck, it has what looks like, you could either think of it as a This might be a moon above it or a halo, but I see it as the number 0, which to me is aligned to the Fool energy, which we actually see here in your ego this month. This is a different illustration for Fool, but it is nonetheless the Fool. And so what I want you to do this month is to sort of allow yourself to try new things, to use your imagination, to take a leap of faith. Because if you stay too grounded in practicality, in putting limits, in putting yourself in a sort of predefined category, then you're never able to expand fully and you're never able to surprise yourself. And this card is saying, believe that you can achieve certain things that others may find impractical or silly or something that doesn't make sense to them. It's those leaps of faith, it's those imaginary things that sometimes come to life. I'll give you a couple examples. Great examples exist in science fiction and fantasy. And if you look at things that were considered futuristic, maybe back in the 60s, if you look at one of those old Star Trek TV shows, you'll notice that they're using sort of like handheld things that look like an iPad or an iPhone. There was nothing like that back then, and now we are using handheld computers. You also notice that one of the Uhura, I think, her character is always talking on what looks like a Bluetooth device. It was her some sort of a recorder, transceiver, whatever. These things were dreamt about before they were actually created. So know that something that seems silly, that seems like it's fantasy, can inspire what's possible. If we didn't dream we could go to the moon, how would we ever do that? If we couldn't dream about any sort of scientific advance, it's fueled by the dreams of children sometimes. I think this whole world and all of the beautiful leaps and bounds that we've taken in technology and medicine. And I want you to keep that inner child, what if, wonderment that you have alive now as an adult. Because when you sort of suspend disbelief in yourself, when you think maybe it can happen, suddenly you could surprise yourself. And I think that's what can happen this month. Also, when we were talking about synchronicities, you have to believe it's possible to recognize them. So magic is only real if you can believe it. And if you don't, then it's not going to happen. All right, let's talk more about the practical here at the center, because we have a very practical 10 of Pentacles here. I like the way this is illustrated because it's showing me that some of you may be blinded by opportunity or by money or by material sort of things, material accomplishments, title, etc. What this is really about is internalizing self-worth and knowing that once you really feel what it is that you're doing, then the sky's the limit. But with the 10 of Pentacles, if we look at other meanings for this card, it's a card where you see domestic bliss, where there is opportunities in business, marriage, and also great connections in business that can happen. So you have some really good foundational opportunities right at the beginning of the month that come through. But I feel many of you are maybe in a point where you're trying to find balance within your own time and energy. Some of you may be working too hard. Some of you may be spending too much time outside of work and you need to put more into it. So we have the 10 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles, which are very different ends of the spectrum. 2 is about achieving balance, 10 is about having abundance. So one part of your life, there's a lot going on and you've achieved what you need. The other end needs some focus. Find out where that balance exists for you, whether it's health, whether it's money, whether it's work or school. Something needs to be balanced out a little bit, and the sooner you do that, the better you'll be able to take advantage of the other opportunities coming through for you. And for many of you, the area that might need a little bit more opportunity is play, because the Unicorn and the Fool card are very much a part of that, as is the 6 of Cups, which I'm seeing in near future. And notice how this 6 of Cups really isn't all about the children, and it's not about nostalgia. It's about realizing that by giving yourself this time to sort of be free to explore, you're actually creating growth opportunities. You're going to be more productive. So with that in mind, make time for things that bring you joy and fulfillment in your life, knowing that these will actually be the fuel for what propels you to something else. I see like a rocket ship, again, talking about outer space. You need that sort of fuel and you need something that keeps you going. So it's okay to make some time to watch a movie, to read a book, to spend time with friends or your family or whatever it is that is going to really give you that sense of balance and fulfillment. As we look at your deep past, we have one of my favorite cards, the Star. It was reversed, however, and there are some notes that go along with the reverse star. For some of you, I feel like this kind of harkens back more to what was presented to you when you were a kid, or maybe what is going on in your friend circle or your coworker circle. And this is that people may have been trying to pull you back down to earth. We notice that this beautiful star is in a state of elevation. She's lifting up. When it's reversed, it's trying to ground you down into practicality, trying to limit your scope, maybe trying to tell you that you were less than or incapable of doing something. If you find yourself in that category of someone who was pushed to do something they didn't want because someone didn't believe in them or wouldn't allow them to follow their truth, to follow their true dream, their true calling, I'm here to encourage you this month that it's never too late to go back and achieve some sort of a dream that was something that meant the world to you. The Star card is about integration, stepping into your truth, being unafraid of rejection, of being laughed at, of failing. Doing it because when you wake up in the morning, you couldn't imagine doing something else. If you're in a point in your life where you don't have that center, when you're feeling like there might be something missing, I want you to spend a little bit of time really doing some soul searching this month to think, what is that missing piece? What did you maybe give up because you weren't encouraged or you didn't imagine? Because for some of you, it might have been that you just gave up on your own imagination. So if you gave up on yourself or if someone else gave up on you, I'm not giving up on you this month. And I'm telling you that I want you to kind of go back and give something a second thought or a second chance. And in that moment, decide, have I let it go? Am I okay with it not having come to be, or is there something more that I want to put into that? Once you've done that, you can either release it and then move on to something else, possibly better, or you get a second chance to accomplish it. Your central energy was one of absolute manifestation, 10 of Pentacles, so you can do it. You just have to decide if you want to. One other note with the Star card, again, there's a challenge for you to this month not let something slip past your hands, because when I see that in the past, that's sometimes being afraid of stepping into an opportunity. Don't be afraid this month. We talked about it. There might be something that comes your way. You may not get a second chance. So if you feel drawn to do something, don't discount it or think, I can always do this in the future. Take advantage of it now. There's a lot of cards of movement. We had the 10 of Pentacles in the center. Now we have the 10 of Wands here, symbolized also by the Phoenix taking flight, ready to move on, ready to engage in that fire energy that you see here. So for some of you, the combination of the two of these could indicate like the sell of a house, actually, or a decision to sell a business or to start something new with a business, a product, or an idea. It's a launch, for a lack of a better word. So I like that. And I also like the connection right across the center. We have the 10, and then we have this 6 of Cups, which is, again, for some of you, going back to something that you had perhaps given up on, or it's a fulfillment of a lifetime dream or a childhood dream. So don't forget that, and know that you might be deciding to partner up with someone that you've known for a long time, because the 6 of Cups is a familiar card. It's usually either meeting someone that you feel like you're best friends with, or working with a best friend, or doing something with a best friend, or meeting someone from the past. It could be a family member or an old acquaintance. But I see a really rich partnership opportunity that's also presenting itself. In your crowning position, what I'm seeing here is potentially a challenge. This could be a challenge from an adversary, a friend or a frenemy, or a coworker that always seems to sort of know how to push your buttons. And what you want to do is stay true to the facts, to your vision, to what you're trying to accomplish, and not get sort of in their energy or be sort of taken in by whatever it is they're trying to do. This is about fighting for what's important and picking and choosing your words, your battles, and your moments to make this happen. And I believe you can overcome whatever challenges come your way, particularly if it's coming from someone who's done this before. The key thing for you is to know this time you're going to react differently. You're going to be prepared, you're going to keep your cool, and you're going to stand your ground. For me, the 9 of Wands never indicates that you're going to lose. And if you look at a typical illustration of it, you'll see someone that has a bandage and they're standing strong with all of the hard work, with all of the lessons learned behind them, a symbol of their strength, their understanding, and their development. And it's not accidental that we have you know, a phoenix and what looks like some sort of a crow here. But this is basically a message that you can overcome this. This is, for me, it's a bird of prey, so you want to be careful, but both of these birds are showing you taking flight and being able to rise above the flames, so you can do that this month. There is some work to be done, there are some challenges at hand, but I do believe that you can overcome them. In the ego this month, we have the Fool card. And I talked earlier about the sort of wonderful elements of the Fool, which it encourages you to sort of like take a leap of faith, take some risks, calculated risks where it makes sense, to not overthink things, because I feel like you've done a lot of the preparation necessary. If there's anything holding you back as far as fear or doubt goes, the way that you can overcome the Fool sometimes is just through making sure that you've done the preparation and the research necessary so that you don't fear that you're going to make some sort of a misstep. But the overall energy of the Fool, especially in its upright position, is saying it's okay to move forward, it's okay to take a chance. You're going to be challenged with some sort of a new opportunity this month. And the two tens that I got at the center, the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands, are showing that something is ready to end and something is ready to begin, and that's what we're seeing with this. When I look at the environment, this could be what's going on with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers this month. There's a little bit of chaos, and my message for you is wait for the dust to settle. You'll notice that this is a sort of very atypical Five of Cups. Typically, you will see things already settled. You'll see a few cups upright, a few cups on the ground, and you'll see wine or some fluid coming out of them. With this, there's a sense that things are in motion, and for some of you, this could actually be your own emotional state, or there could be some heightened emotions around you. Notice that this bird is rising up above and getting away from that. So I would say this month, it would be good to have, one, a sense of detachment about what's going on. Be practical, be imaginative, be ready for what's going on, but try not to be sort of so attached to the outcome that you don't allow things to progress. That can kind of strangle it out. The other thing is, if there's a lot of tension around you, a lot of stress around you, you might want to, if for instance you're a boss, get the team away, be like this bird, get away from the stress for a little bit so you can get a sense of perspective about what's going on. Same thing holds true for a relationship. It might be time for, you know, a break, a vacation. Take some time together away from all the stresses that might be pulling you in sort of this lower frequency. So perspective is key. Letting the dust settle before you jump to some sort of a conclusion about why something happened is key. Get all of the facts and the information. And when all else fails, just take some time away from something and say, I need time to consider this, or I'll get back to you tomorrow. That space, that time, that meditation is going to make sure that you see the positive and the negative, and that's always what the Five of Cups is really about: balance and perspective. As I look at your hopes, your fears, desired action, even opportunities, I have a beautiful card here, the Ace of Pentacles. Nothing bad about this. This card is in the upright position. For many of you, the interesting thing, if you look at it as a hope or a fear, some of you might be afraid of success. Some of you might not be ready for the success, but what I see with the Ace is a really positive movement for you. There could be a new relationship, there could be a new job, there could be improvement or understanding when it comes to your finances. No matter what it is, I really feel like you're exiting this month feeling a lot better than when you began it. And again, for some of you, the only thing that could be at play here is, are you ready to take a chance on yourself? Are you imagining that it's possible? Is that risk something that you're comfortable with? Because what I'm seeing here is something exciting on the horizon, but there were a few cards that presented themselves that show maybe an inability or a lack of trust in oneself to go forward for those things. And it's okay to ask for a little bit more time, but remember what I said earlier, don't wait forever. There's a window that's opening, and it's not one that's going to last perhaps the entire month. You could take a day or two, or maybe a week, but I feel like by the end of this month, action is necessary, and that brings us to the outcome card for the month. We have the King of Swords, but he is in the reverse state. What I want you to pay attention to this month is not going into too much of a critical state. The upright position of the King card is good. It can show an execution of contracts. It can show winning some sort of a legal case. It's good for communication, for announcements. It's a card of being really confident in oneself and taking action. But the reversal of this can be overly sort of critical, and either critical in communication or thought. It can show a slowing down of action, a hesitation, an unnecessary one perhaps. On its positive sort of reading, even in the reverse state, I would say, if there's something that you really need to come out and say, you can do it this month. Just make sure that it's grounded in kindness, that you're being balanced in your approach, and that you say it in a time that makes sense as well. Going back to my channeled information, I think timing is everything. So pick your moment, pick your words, and pick your audience well, and I think you'll be in a good state. Overall, some really great cards this month, and only a few things that could be pulling you in a direction that would either slow it down or prevent that from happening. So let's expand the forecast now. We'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, and get a little bit more information on those parts, and hopefully bring this into an even sharper focus for you. We'll start first with your health card, knowing that health includes your mind, body, and spirit. Your health message this month is, I choose to learn through love. And I think this has a lot to do with your emotional health and, again, kind of following your passion, something that I encouraged a lot of you to do at the beginning of the reading, because when we were looking at the star card, I think that that's really what this is about. Loving what you do, loving who you are, integrating that into your everyday life, and knowing that this brings you a sense of satisfaction across all areas of your life, but especially in your overall health, because when your mind is at ease, your body is also there. And I'm just going to look quickly and see if there's any additional health messages that come through. I will say this, a lot of times with the Nine of Wands, this can manifest itself as migraines or as a feeling of being unable to sort of let things go. It's usually very mental in nature. So I would say the love component of this could be forgiveness, it could be compassion, it could be engaging in these activities that bring joy. Dancing, singing, writing, playing, skating, I don't care, anything. Something where you're preferably with friends or with family or with someone that you love, and finding a way to sort of exorcise some of this stuff through exercise. So kind of, it's a two-in-one thing, getting rid of energy in a positive way, channeling it through something that you love, with someone that you love, choosing love overall, knowing that it's a lot better to do that than to hold on to stuff. So it's really more of a mind over matter thing and a mind over body thing this month when I'm looking at your health message. Let's look at wealth and see what's coming through, not just with money, but with opportunities and your preparedness to embrace those opportunities, because this is what could make the difference between recognizing and embracing a synchronicity or not. So the message this month for wealth is change of mind. Now, for some of you, you actually may be at a point in your life where you're just ready to move on with the job in particular, because we have a couple of tens here. Again, 10 of Pentacles, which is showing that maybe you've achieved everything that you thought you could. 10 of Wands, maybe you want to move to a new location or to a different industry altogether. You could also be looking at changing some of the ways that you're investing or spending this month. Overall, that change looks really good. The key to this card is diversification, so not putting all of your eggs in one basket. Take a look at your own money and see if that makes sense. If we pull the camera down again, when I'm seeing some really good cards here, the 10 and the Ace, and it's crossed by a balancing card. So for some of you, there may be too much focus in one area, and this card is really speaking to diversification. So we just looked at health and wealth. Let's go ahead now and take a look at your love card, knowing that love is really connecting you to all types of relationships in your life, not just romantic. And the message this month is expansion. So for some of you, there may be something new on the horizon, as we see with that Ace card. For some of you, this could be marriage, because we have the 10 of Pentacles at the center, which I associate with marriage, contracts, setting down a sort of domestic way of being. For the rest of you, when we're looking at love, this could simply mean that you're going to spend some more time and energy in that space, because we have the Fool card. So if you're single and you're now in a place in your life where you thought, maybe I want more, the expansion can be that. And if you're single happy or married and happy, the expansion card can also be a service card. So maybe everything's feeling good in your life and you're wondering, how else can I give back to the world? So you find other ways, whether it's through philanthropic endeavors, deciding to give money towards charity events and things like that, spending your own time or energy on things, or simply doing something for somebody that you care about on a small sort of symbolic level. No matter what you decide to do, the overall energy this month is opening and allowing people to come in. So whatever you decide to do with that, good luck. And I think that you can't go wrong when you open up your heart and you embrace new people and new opportunities. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at your Destiny card. Destiny is a GPS of sorts, but it allows you to make some free will decisions. If you like the course that you're on, you can stay on it. If you don't, as we look at this, there'll be some messages that will help you make a decision on how to course correct. Your Destiny card is very much in step with your Ego card this month, which was the Fool. It says every journey starts with a single step. And for some of you, that step requires a leap of faith. And for some of you, this requires getting back to what your initial goal was, that you got pulled down so much that you were immobilized, afraid to move. Notice how this star glides with ease, no longer tethered almost to the earth plane. The Fool now is a different version of that star needing to find her way again. So wherever you're at in that journey, don't be afraid to take a step towards the right direction, towards a new direction, since expansion was part of what you were doing. This Love card could simply be your chance to do something that you love, not simply to be with someone that you love. There's an expansion there in passion, in joy in your life as well. So let's go ahead now and bring everything into one last review so that you can walk away with a clear overview of how everything's going to function this month and what your opportunities are. I mentioned at the beginning that April was a time for synchronicities and divine timing, and one of the key elements to that was to keep an open mind, to imagine new things. This particular unicorn has the same number as the Fool card, which is 0, and we saw the Fool in your Ego, which shows that the big opportunity is to take that leap. Maybe it's a leap of imagination, a leap of faith, but knowing that once you allow yourself to go there, that things start to open up for you. Your Celtic cross this month shows that many of you have already done a lot of work on yourself, that you're in a good place, that there's really this chance for you to acknowledge that if you're ready to make a move, it can happen. I feel like it's just taking a chance, taking a leap of faith on yourself, because what we see here with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands, all the work that needs to be done is done. But with the 9 of Wands in the crowning position, there's either a lack of recognition by yourself or others of that accomplishment. And if it's others, then it's time to sort of like help them see who you are. If it's yourself, it's just that, okay, what's really holding you back? Is it fear? Is it that it doesn't feel good? Because the 2 of Pentacles is a balance card. If what you're doing is no longer in harmony or balance with what your soul wants, then it's really calling back to what we see in the deep past, the Star card, and saying, connect with purpose. Bring that into the integration of you in the now, and that's going to be key. And that's what we see with 6 of Cups, celebrating something that makes you happy, integrating something that makes you happy into your everyday life, into work, into relationships. That integration, that fun, that enjoyment, that passion creates growth in your life. What's necessary, of course, is risk, is faith, is taking that leap, is using your imagination, as we saw with the unicorn here. I want you to give things in your environment a chance to settle down. There could be, for some of you, people moving or perhaps even travel going on with a lot of these cards. So if you're traveling, if you're moving, if things are in flux, try not to jump to some sort of a conclusion if you have to make a decision, or if somebody is sort of like not themselves. Give them a chance to sort of settle in, because the 5 of Cups is showing that there is a lot going on in your environment and you want to try and rise above that and not let it kind of somehow unfavorably block your perspective on things. So getting away from a situation that's stressful, getting others out of that as well, is going to be key. The overall opportunity this month is growth, expansion, development. It could be new love, it could be new work, it could be a new project, a new idea, or something about yourself that you want to bring into a new light. Lots of beautiful cards of Earth and Pentacles this month, so I see growth across the board. One thing that you want to try to temper this month is your critical side. I love the King of Swords, but in reverse it can show that sometimes you speak too quickly, or the action is either too slow or too fast. Remember that timeline that we were talking about. Pick your moments. Don't delay too much and don't get ahead of yourself. You'll trust your own natural intuition to decide when and where you should act, but pay attention to that and try not to overthink it, and I think you'll be in a good space. When we looked at health, it was really more a message of how you feel this month. choosing to learn through love. Knowing that love is a lot easier than being sort of negative, critical, angry. It's a lot easier than getting swept up in other people's dramas. Knowing that also if you're working in your passion, then you feel a sense of fulfillment. One final note with health this month is that some of you might be experiencing either headaches or migraines. Make sure that you're getting enough to drink. Sometimes that can come from dehydration, but it could also be the stress. If that's the case, take a break. Take some time away from the situation. Don't get in the middle, because all of your cards this month showing work situations show you being able to rise above. The only time I think you'll get in trouble is if you get yourself too much into trying to pick a side or the practicality of it. Get above the situation and you should be okay. When we looked at wealth, the name of the game this month is really about diversification, and for some of you, changing. So you may decide to change a job, you may decide to move somewhere, you may decide that you want to try something new for a living, or the way you're investing your money. As long as it's giving you a sense of growth, expansion, which gets us to the next card, then I think you're okay. When we look at love, it really is more about where is your passion this month. It seems like it's not so much about putting it within, it's about spending it on someone else and trying new things. So the expansion in love could come through doing what you love. It could be by accepting a proposal or some sort of new engagement. It could be just deciding to give more of your time and energy to others. Your final card this month, your destiny card, said, don't be afraid basically to take that first step. Every journey begins with a single step, and that's what you were seeing in the Fool card. And as we look at the deep past, it might have been easier in your youth or before you sort of got tethered by other people's fears or commentary to sort of glide to what you were wanting to do. Know that that ease can be regained when you have hope, when you believe in yourself again, and when you sort of tune out whatever negativity they may have been putting in your path. So that brings our monthly reading to a close, but I hope you got the insight and the guidance that you need to travel through the month ahead. There's some really exciting opportunities for you. However, if there's something that goes on in your life and you want a little bit more clarity, maybe it's a big decision about work, a relationship, or you're just feeling the sense that you want to talk more about spirituality and growth, I'd love to talk to you. You can check out my rates and availability by clicking on the first card in the video or the first link below the video. And if that makes sense, I'm here for you and I would love to set up some time. Also, if you just really enjoyed what you saw here and you wanted to give back, there's a very easy way you can do that. You can click on the second card or the second link below the video, and that'll take you to my site where you can either donate there or go through Patreon and do a monthly donation. Either way really makes a big difference in allowing for the health of this channel. So if you like what you see here, it's a good way to exchange energy. I spent about a half an hour with you. I put a lot of time in this, and one small donation is a way to say thanks and help me buy supplies or help me create just the time and space to do this. So from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. And I would like to also say thanks to everyone who's done that previously. You make this possible. Another way to make a difference that only requires a few clicks is to, of course, like and subscribe, but also to join me on social media networks and to share the message there. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I also have a newsletter. And if you like what you see here, I would love for you to share a post on one of those platforms. My main goal, as all of you that come back from month to month know, is really to help create light workers across the planet, to help people wake up, to achieve their maximum. And if you can help me share that and spread that word and share that light, then that means so much to me. So however you choose to help, I want to say thank you. And I like to end not just with that thank you, but with heartfelt gratitude for the work that you're doing on yourself. Each sign, I take a moment at the end and really bring home something that's important. For you, I want you to know that change is easier than you think. I really love the star image here, and I was kind of profoundly impacted by the fact that it was reversed, and that I think that some of you might have had this moment in time where someone didn't let you fly, kind of like a balloon. They're holding you down and won't let you reach the height that you should. So this month, know that it is possible, that you can go after what you want. And if you are already on that path, I see a lot of rewards coming through for you. Stay true to that vision, stay true to the passion that drives you to get up in the morning and makes you feel like you're making a difference in the world. I think when we're children, I've talked about this in some of my other videos, but I want to repeat this part here. There's a mistake that some parents make where they say, like, it's not what do you want to do when you grow up, and then judging kids for whatever that decision is. I think if we were asked as children by parents, teachers, and mentors, what brings you joy, And how do you want to make the world different? How do you want to make a difference in this world that you're living in? Then we would have children that are feeling that they have this ability not just to go and earn money and have status and try to make people happy because of that, but that they could change the world, they could change themselves, they could change things for the better. So I want you to get back to that idea that it's okay to be attached to something that brings joy, even if people don't understand it. And you have a capacity to, first of all, you came to this planet to change yourself, but you can also move your own life and energy and move others around you when you're aligned with soul purpose and soul passion. And that's really what I hope you can do this month. You may not be able to do it all at once, but taking that step in the right direction, that first step towards your dream, not being afraid to sort of take a risk, take a chance on yourself, it opens up opportunity. From my heart to yours, I wish you love, abundance, satisfaction, and soul integration this month as well. Take care. I'll see you next month.